Geniuses versus Misfits. Shogun, Greg, and take it away.
I didn't know we could get away with not predicting. I'm stealing that one for tomorrow because we do get ourselves into this elimination one, and it's something that's been difficult to kind of digest today, Greg, and is that this is the end of the season for some of these teams. It really has flown by, especially in comparison to what Season X felt like at times. This, on the other hand, just feels like I really want more of it, and I'm sure some of these teams would want a couple more opportunities as well.
Yeah, and that's going to add to the nerves for these players. This could be the final time they play together. It could be the final time they play under their org. It could be the final time they can compete this higher level in RLCS if one of them doesn't bounce back as well. So there's a lot of pressure here to not only prove it today, but to prove it for the future. And RG coming in, clean shot off the back of a Cash outplay.
Yeah, Cash just doing everything right there and nobody able to really respond. This is the tournament to really get it done for. Some of these teams still fighting to make it over to London, to make it over to Worlds. Other teams, it's just about auditions, really. Leaving the season the best possible note to set yourself up well for next season. Oh, and the way you do that is by creating some plays, and there was definitely an attempt to create one there. Cash, once again, when the pressure on, has been really positive at the way that he started this game, actually. Cash willing to put this game on his shoulders. I do like that version of Cash. It's just as long as he can sort of deliver on the play style that he's going for. So far he has.
Yeah, Cash has got two different modes. One mode where he's going crazy like he is right now and just rushing everything, being very mechanical. And the other one where he's sitting off the ball, waiting for his opportunity to come in and do a big 100 boost play. And right now it seems like he's got that sort of angry, frustrated play style where he's just really coming in and trying to put the team on his shoulders.
Yeah, we call that lower bracket Cash. We've just lost one. We might see the other one if they get a couple of wins back to back. Maybe see them in tomorrow. RG currently on the wall. He will have Mitane in the option midfield. Doesn't actually go for it. I do appreciate just the positioning of Mitane there. Force Catalysm to hold it back very slightly. Make sure he covers both angles. Now Mitane has to try and lock away a couple of players as he's bumped on his attempted retreat back. Ivan here. First real offense for EG. Cash missed it. Arju did not make the same mistake. Cash straight back up. Makes up for it. And now it's the breakaway. But Arju can't get any more by the player.
Yeah, just a little bit of simple observation here. It seems like Misfits are playing at a higher tempo, higher speed, and that's really forcing Evil Geniuses to rush their touches and not be as confident on what they want to do. And the recovery speed has been just that much better from Misfits, allowing them to, even when they miss the challenge, come back in for another one quickly afterwards. That will win them a lot of interactions in the midfield and keep that pressure on Evil Geniuses.
I'm looking forward to seeing how Misfits sort of react to when they get the ball stuck in their own half. This has not necessarily been the answer I was after, as they have struggled here. Cash pops the ball up high, not really expecting that was anybody. That was Mitane, who ends up leaving it. No point jumping in there, you're just going to make your recovery that much slower. Ivan tasked with collecting off the backboard. Good boom and clear though, Misfits doing the foundational plays very well at the moment. And it's let them just continue to mount that pressure. Good bounce for Catalysm. It doesn't just bounce straight back out. It's over to Ivan. Now back to Catalysm. Again, Catalysm's touch is very awkward, not only for himself, but for the opposing team as well. 2 minutes left here. EG starting to see more of the ball on the other side of the field. But here's the big thing. The transition game from Misfits has been incredible.
Yeah, just the way they're moving is so much more momentum-based. Evil Genius is often finding themselves static in certain situations, but watching Cash, he has not stopped zooming around the pitch. And it means that firstly, he's more effective, and secondly, when he's coming in, it's surprising Evil Geniuses because he's popping in out of nowhere.
Catalysm can't get to it. It's the infield pass. Good block for Marju, or for Ivan, I should say. Marju now moving on to the ball. And look at that, just killing off some time here. Realized that there wasn't really a play on for him. He's not going to get the 1v3 outplay. So just set up the best block that you can. Get as many players as you can out of the play entirely. As Cash wants to get off the backboard. He gets the second over to Mitane. And Ivan scrambled to reposition the car. And now his team's on the counter-attack. Shot on target.
He's back.
Couldn't get anything for it. There's zero boost on the shot. And Cash is already there.
How does he keep getting back for things? He's just making so much ground around the pitch, and I think credit to Arju and Mitane, who are choosing those right moments to take up a bit more time, take it for an air dribble, let that ball move into their own half to try and get that booming clear. But this could be that opportunity, and it sneaks in the top corner. Catalysm catches the defense off guard after the Mitane bump.
Ivan, you cheeky lad. He got the bump on the backfield, meant that nobody else could get around to time for the block. And I like that. Evil Geniuses are being outplayed here, Dragon. I don't think it would be too despicable of me to say that. You've got to try something different. And getting behind the back line, getting that bump, has given them a way into this game. Now, with only 30 seconds left in this, really can go either way. There's all of that good play from Misfits gonna go downhill. Can they keep this up? That double commit is not a good sign. Infield to Ivan. Chooses not to take the shot on target. Realized that he was being shut down.
Yeah, I think the on-the-ball plays right here from Misfits have been superior, but Evil Geniuses recognizing that have started to look for some of the off-the-ball plays, boost steals, bumps to open up space for those simple clears. And they seem to be regaining control at the midfield consistently as Misfits are scared of that bump potential now. But it really will come down to that creativity from Misfits finally breaking through the Evil Geniuses defense. Otherwise, eventually, Evil Geniuses will punish and overcommit with that bump rotation they've got going on right now.
Feels like a big match for me when it comes to Misfits winning this series, because you can imagine Evil Geniuses making the adaptations between these games. This might be the biggest advantage we see from Misfits in terms of the gameplay they've had. Even then, we're starting to see more of a better transition game from Evil Geniuses. Couldn't commit the numbers to it, though, as Cash and Matane, slight miscommunication as to how that pre-jump pass was going to work out. I'm just very happy that I can say sentences like that as if it's expected these days. My goodness, how the game has progressed. As Ivan for the corner realized that the pressure might be coming in. Arju just back down. Infield to Matane. Shot too high. It's up to Cash to try and finish it. He puts it high as well. And that's the chance gone. Rizex's first touch, not that great though. And the counter-attack is slowed.
Yeah, that's exactly what we're seeing over and over again. The attempts here from Misfits are one touch, one little smart mechanical play away from scoring a goal. Evil Geniuses are very much relying on 50-50s, bumps, and simple clears breaking down this team. And it's just not going to be enough if they continue throughout the series. They've always looked their best, Evil Geniuses, when players like Catalysm and Ivan start bringing out their own mechanics to force the opponents out of position.
Oh, that's such a good pass and a very worthy one to come in and grab the win. Arju to himself, off the backboard, off the ceiling, and Matane could do nothing else but put it in the back of the net. And Misfits, despite the late scare, have taken game number one. And Chiefs, I want to bring you in here because we've got so many different teams playing today, including one of them that is a former world champion org, a multi-time European champion org in the form of Vitality. Surely they're having an easy time of it in the lower bracket.
No. It was a bloodbath in game one. They did win, but it was 6-5 versus Grow Noobs in game one. So a real huge bloodbath. It was absolutely bonkers. Currently ahead in game two, however, 1-0 with 3 minutes. So it seems everything has settled down a little bit for them at least. And they are out in front in game two as well. So Vitality, big roller coaster of a day today.
I wonder if that's a unique scoreline, 6-5. I know there's very...
Scorigami?
Yeah, is that Scorigami? I don't know.
Somebody's tracking this somewhere.
Yeah, I'm sure D-Rex tracking it. I think
that sounds like a flip side result. I'm absolutely certain if a team got that, it was flip side first.
Well, I guess 6-5 is quite likely because if it was 5-5, it would always be 6-5. So 5-5 and 6-5 are both.
We are still waiting on the first ever 1-1 game. It's ridiculous. One day.
It'll never happen.
Don't worry.
Man, I can't even get my 1-0 series at the moment. But yes, it's if you want a place for tension at the moment, this is the place to be. Just everyone fighting for their tournament lives, their season lives. It feels so weird now saying that the season just is on the line and it's done. You might just be gone for a couple of months now, or you await your next opportunity. We will definitely be coming back to you, Achieves, as we do take a look around. If you want to keep an eye as well, there are team streams currently happening, where I assume the commentary is maybe a lot less calm than what we're providing at the moment, Gregan.
Yeah, I mean, these two teams, like we said, are fighting for their lives, not only today in this tournament, but for the spring split and their chance to make London, which obviously every team wants to go back to the copper box. But for their whole season, making Worlds is so vital, especially for a team like Evil Geniuses who made the LA Major. If they can squeak their way into London, then they're in with a chance of making Worlds. Otherwise, this will be the last time we see them until next season. But right now, I think we're definitely seeing Misfits look the stronger of these two teams. The dominant force in that first game was their outplay ability. They're now going to try and replicate that again in game 2.
Yeah, and probably was one of the easier coaching sessions that I'm sure Misfits have had, which was just stare at Cash and just say, yeah, do that again. You keep that going, we're in a very, very good spot. You did make a great point about wanting to go back to the copper box. So many of these players, young players that maybe their first experience with really getting to grips with high-level Rocket League was that copper box grand finals. And would have inspired so many. And Matei, with an inspired performance so far, just lingered about and was having none of the sort of slovenly approach to getting rid of this by Catalysm.
Yeah, again, Arju coming in clutch with the playmaker. He finished the last game off with his ability to set up Matane, and again, sends it middle for Matane to slot it home. It's not just the Cash show in this team. We talk a lot about him because he has those amazing mechanics that we see so frequently. But it is Arju who's stepped up so far in this series. In defense just there, but his playmaking ability is something that we always want to see from every player on a team.
And Arju is not a player that we can really point towards and say, oh, we don't know if he can step up when the pressure is on him. Came in as a sub for his professional debut, and he played incredibly well throughout all of those, so much so that people were asking, hey, this guy maybe should just stay on the main roster for the rest of the time. So Arju is always capable. Moment's notice, you want a performance out of him, he will provide it. He's now on the ball, reset secured, ends up using it for the recovery, and Catalysm also had to recover. Was not expecting Arju to make it that far.
Yeah, at the moment, Evil Geniuses seem to be the reactive team to what Misfits are throwing at them. They need to start taking control of that ball. We saw Rizex just there trying a little bit of an outplay, but just out of boost as they're having to transition out of defense, often low on boost. And that's going to be the key here. Can they manage their resources well enough so that when they're in those strong positions, they can bring out the mechanical outplays they're capable of?
Oh, Catalysm, one touch, two touch, and Matane having absolutely none of the triple touch off the backboard. Again, just look at the transitions. Cash off the wall. He's so hard to read. And I just love the mix-up that we've been getting. Oh my goodness. Well, Ivan, I think might have had it covered anyway. But Misfits are not being linear about their approach to shooting, to getting out of their own side of the field. It has been near impossible for Evil Geniuses to cover all the angles, and whichever one is not covered, Misfits have been there.
Yeah, and you often hear these top players communicate who's going for the ball to be sure that the outplay potential is there. And I'm sure against Misfits, normally everyone would say Cash is up and then panic. But on today's performance from all three of these players and Misfits, it doesn't matter which name you say, they have the potential for that saucy mechanical outplay. So they've got to be watching every single touch from Misfits, and Evil Geniuses just can't deal with this overwhelming creativity.
Matane gets there for the block. This is all he was really required to do as Cash crushes through the first challenge, looks for the setup, he gets it off the challenge. And you can see just the delay from Matane. He didn't go all full throttle towards it. He wanted to make sure that he's at least got some players back should it go wrong. And why not? You're a goal up with just over a minute left. Don't take any real chances in a position like this. The bump gives Catalysm a little bit of space. They've got to score this. And instead, right down the middle, Cash was there to meet it.
Oh,
and it's now off the counter-attack. Cash scores 2-0.
Not only does Cash save this ball, but he follows it up to get that 50-50. Evil Geniuses trying to keep that pressure on, and Cash denies it. The transition from him there, 1v3, and there's even a player from Misfits in the middle to support him. This is the kind of mechanical control we're talking about with Misfits, and it's so key to the higher level gameplay we see today. Moist, an example of performance based off of mechanics, and I think Misfits here replicating that play style.
Oh, crushes through it, Cash. Oh, we talked so much about what Cash can do mechanically. He's not lost a challenge throughout the entirety of this game, although this one very unfair to anybody heading towards him. Just the entirety of the team. They just believe in each other at the moment. You're seeing how aggressive the second man positioning actually is because they feel like they're going to win every challenge, and it's a feeling that's been proven correct.
Yeah, and there's a challenge missed there. Ivan going to get the double tap opportunity. Catalysm needs to score this.
Oh my goodness.
Cash off the goal line. These kind of moments they are so frustrating for a team that's really struggling to put together offense. When you see your best opportunity of the game get denied when the ball is half dissolved in the goal line, even when it's 3-0 and there's no real chance of you coming back, it's just that feeling of helplessness that I'm sure Evil Geniuses are feeling right now. And they're going to want to try and work out how this reverse sweep is even possible, let alone winning a game.
Yeah, certainly so. This series over here is going to go 2-0. And typically here, I'm sure our producer will be desperately searching around for another game for us to take a look at. But Achieves, as we bring you in here, that might prove a little bit difficult. They're around somewhere. We can find him.
Achieves.
My bad.
There we go.
My bad. Let me try that again. Grow Noobs currently up 2-1 in Game 3 after getting bounced out at the end of Game 2. Vitality is up in the series, but down in Game 3. Dignitas is tied against Juicers in Game 3, despite being up 2-0 in the series. And Luminosity is struggling to find an opening goal in Algiri. So everyone who's currently behind making a little bit of headway, despite every series currently being 2-0 for the other side.
So I guess that begs the question, is it possible for any of these teams to get the reverse sweep? Because it is the favourites who are up 2-0 as well. So it's not like the favourites have let it slip and then are now on the back foot. So we'll see.
I'm terrified.
I'm always terrified, mate. This is every Friday.
I don't understand how you sit here and watch European Rocket League and then you're just like, yep, let's go ahead, watch, rinse, repeat. I don't know how you go play ranked here. Like this is like,
mate, I gave up a while ago when it came. Listen, all right, there was a stage about last year or so that I just looked at this gameplay and went, I feel so insignificant in comparison to all of this. So it's beautiful to watch, though. It really is. And it's, I feel like it's really fun that all these teams are just such personalities now to the way that they play. Everyone has a philosophy and we're seeing how they can commit to it.
Well, currently, Vitality's velocity is not going good. They're now down 3-1 with 2 minutes left in Game 3.
Oh.
They lost 4-1. Never mind. They scored again.
Hey, look, they won the first 2 games, so they can drop a game here or there. I'm sure they'll be fine. But if it starts getting to Game 5, then we'll start asking that question as to whether the reverse sweep is possible. And I think that's what Evil Geniuses are going to be asking now. Is this even possible to reverse sweep? And they're starting off strong with Ivan, the car switcher, coming in with a solo play off the kickoff.
Yeah, I think this is the best person as well to get the outplay on up against Cash and get the ball past him, because Cash's goal line defense has been on a whole other planet throughout this series. So just getting that knowledge that, yes, he is beatable. You can put that in that position and you can get the ball past him. Now we see Rizex reset secure, chooses to take it early. And I like that as a bit of a switch up, actually, because it has seemed like they have been trying to go the entire length of the pitch, get the ball into the net off these reset plays, instead of just relying on a player to come and follow up afterwards. The big problem with that play, though, is we do see the bump, and Ivan could have hit it better.
I love this creativity right here. We were talking about the unpredictability of Misfits, and how about that? Rizex looking like he's going to air dribble, Arju pre-jumping to get the block on it, but instead gets slammed out the sky as Ivan gets the point-blank range shot, and he does not miss that. He puts that top corner, making it even more hard for the goal line defense of Cash to make that save. And I think anywhere outside of that top corner, Cash probably would have been sending that one away, as we're seeing Evil Geniuses coming out with no fear.
Yeah, I'm liking this an awful lot more. It's just the big problem I had, and I know that there's a lot of things that go into it, especially when you look at boost management and where the play has been up to that point. But Evil Geniuses, every time they got a good play in the opposing side of the field, had nobody there to follow up. You're just asking for the 1v3, and it's not going to happen. This has been a bit better. They've obviously had a better control of the field. But, all right, you're not controlling Matane. Sorry, lads, you're not controlling the field. You control all parts of the field that Matane doesn't currently occupy.
I love that from Matane, just recognizing to get behind that ball. He no longer had any options if he chased that ball down, couldn't get the flip reset, couldn't do much on that back wall. So he stays off the ball, forces Capitalism into an awkward challenge and sends it towards the net. And I think what we're talking about Evil Genius is really them looking to play for the goal rather than play to not concede. Oh, stroke of genius. Catalysm.
Catalysm, mate. That is gorgeous. Off the block, lands on it. I mean, that's about as simple as a way I can describe it. He just landed at the perfect spot. And a reminder as well for everybody out there that if EG lose here, they're gone. They're out of the major. Not out of Worlds just yet. But you don't want to be going towards Worlds having not played in the most recent tournament. You need to keep yourself as active as possible. As Rizex off the reset, not going to get anything apart from maybe a whole new car off that demo. So important for both these teams to get a hold of this win, but Evil Geniuses are the team currently sitting in the worst position of the two.
I think the key I'm seeing here from Evil Geniuses players, they're starting to ask questions of Misfits defense. They're saying, are you able to read what I'm doing here? Are you able to defend it? And if not, can I get my team in a favorable position off the back of your misread? And that's exactly what happened with Catalysm's goal. A bad challenge led to that situation. Again, a bad challenge on the back ball onto Ivan's touch, leads to that ball dropping center to Catalysm, and he guesses the goalie's direction perfectly, sends it behind him. And this is what we're talking about. You've got to start asking those questions at the top level. You cannot reactively defend and counterattack against the top teams of Europe.
The way Evil Genius's first two games sort of look to me is the whole, okay, we just come off a loss. Let's just make sure we're doing the foundations right and work from there. But the way Misfits were playing, just no chance that is going to pick you up wins against a team that is playing towards that level. And now that we're seeing Evil just play their game, well, there's the cash special. Just jump on in from the blind spot on the field and instantly get the save. So at least that's not changed despite the scoreline. There's a scoreline that still has half the game left to change. In goes Arju, shot off the crossbar. That's a lot from Mitane, who does almost provide it. He's got it on target and then forced the defender to get the save. Now Arju off the backboard. A little bit too telegraphed there. Gives up possession to Rizex.
Yeah, this is looking good for Evil Geniuses now. A little bit of momentum in their favor. I think Misfits right now are getting surprised by what they're seeing, but it's also going to tell them we need to adapt. We need to be better next game. And they can make those adjustments after this one. Right now, they're just playing to try and work out what they're up against here. What is it that Evil Geniuses are doing so well to create these goals? And you can see Misfits was getting a little bit jumpy at stuff because beforehand, Evil Geniuses was slow. Now they're asking those fast mechanical play questions. I think Misfits are going to have to start bringing in fake challenges, being a little bit more patient, looking to 50-50 in their favor to try and regain strong possession.
Oh, infield, not able to get to it. Still a very hearty attempt being gone for by Misfits. It's Arju delayed as long as possible. Really wanted that challenge, and it has to have his team. 3 players needed to get the block. Who else is around? Arju takes another shot. Catalysm is better to it. Cash once again moves on in. There is just no give here. The infield pass, I like the idea, but Rizex didn't panic, read the play, got rid of it.
Great defense there from Evil Geniuses, reading every touch that was available, keeping fast, moving on the ground. They've got a bit static in the earlier 2 games. Now they're finally bringing in their momentum, and that means they got that edge when they're going for that ball, as they don't have to accelerate towards it. So they're able to keep all of those shots out, read the play, and keep that 4-1 lead that they've earned this game through fantastic mechanical outplays. And Misfits now, what are they going to have to do to change their play style to be able to counter what Evil Geniuses are doing right now?
Evil Geniuses have been forced to defend the latter stages of this game. And defend, well, they certainly have. Been really up against it here, but that 4-1 lead has held strong. But I think this is also a quick reminder as well, despite lack of goals from it, that if we see a re-upping of the level from Misfits, they could very well still be in control of this series from a gameplay perspective. For this one, it has been Evil Geniuses. They have changed the answers to the questions, and they have got themselves game number 3 achieved. It was looking all very sort of favorite dominant in our last few games. How's it now looking?
Still the case now that we've worked our way into game 4. Vitality is currently up 2-0 in versus Grow Noobs. Luminosity currently up 3-0 versus Algiri. So despite them both making a little bit of headway back, it's looking pretty tough. And Juicers and Dignitas still in the midst of an overtime. And of course, as I say that, Juicers actually going to put in the game winner 5.5 minutes through it. So they start the reverse sweep. And Endpoint would be very happy if that happens, as Endpoint would clinch worlds if Juicers pull off the reverse sweep there.
I thought this was supposed to be like, I was looking at it on paper, and obviously Juicers aren't a free win, no matter what. But if you're a Dig fan out there, you're looking at that game and just going, 3-0 this, we can have some confidence that we can make the run. Like, even just losing a game there really hurts that confidence.
Yeah, Juices are scary. I think a lot of people are going to underestimate them because of the lack of org, the lack of previous results we've seen. But we saw them in the Gamers Without Borders tournament, which has a slightly different format, but they still looked really solid in the 3v3. And individually, those players are definitely ones to watch in future seasons, as this is them starting that journey into the RLCS and trying to make a name for themselves.
Who impressed you the most out of curiosity on Juicers? Dragon.
I mean, Juicy is obviously the name that comes to mind because it's the most memorable of them.
Juicers,
yeah. And I think the advantage with Juicers is all three of them switched in for the 2v2 component of the crew battle. So all three of them were exceptional.
They were the
different
team running with
times.
Moxie at ones, weren't they?
They were, so they did have a little bit of an advantage in that sense. But anyway, enough about that format. Let's talk about 3v3, and we're right here with Evil Geniuses trying to form that comeback when Misfits went up early.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing here if Evil Geniuses can keep that sort of level up. Was a much improved performance from them. Now need 2 more games of it, as Catalysm isn't going to be able to try and chase that one down, but see the positioning here from Evil Geniuses, and even then, almost gave the gaps away. Cash runs out of boost on his way to it. Has to try and set up for the block. Couldn't find Catalysm's car either. Right now, Evil Geniuses need to find a way to slow down that transition game from Misfits, because whenever Misfits have the wall on their own side of the field, it's just a given that they are going to get rid of it.
They're trying to break them down, but they just don't have that same read on the defensive positioning of Evil Geniuses. They're not drawing in players when they're starting these outplays and consequently just giving away the ball. Oh, I say that, and we see Cash in the corner drawing in the final defender, sends it middle.
Yeah, this has been Cash's favorite spot to play this entire series because he's got so many options. He can take it up the wall, he can pop it back infield, and he's so good at reading the direction of the defender coming in that he knows which of the 2 options he wants to go with. And it is Arju that can put it in, always around for the infield. And we do have a match sorted out here. Achieves. Which one of our 3 has managed to complete the speed run first?
Luminosity 4-1 over our gear. Only a couple seconds left, but no way back. So Luminosity will advance in the lower bracket. Look at the same for Vitality. They did just put in a go-ahead goal with 1 second remaining to knock them out as well. So well done to Vitality. You survive, and now you've got a date with Carmine Corp there in the second lower round. So no easy routes through the lower bracket for him.
Thank you very much, Achieves. And now I can have my actual reaction to that goal that went in. Oh my goodness, what a goal that was, Dragon.
Yeah, Catalysm on his way out of the offense finds a little redirect. Point blank range, so hard to read as the defenders. But the fact that Catalysm got 111 km/h shot from that closer range and into the side of the net. Such good placement from him, and he's definitely the player we asked to step up mechanically from Evil Geniuses when they're starting to struggle, because he is the one who has the highest ceiling of the 3 players.
Catalysm now. Good self-pass. Arju forced to back down the shot.
Oh,
good
what a
enough by
save.
Arju. They always have that save covered.
It was just far enough away that Arju had the time to react to it, didn't get impatient and pre-jump it. He read that shot, which was incredibly fast, sends it away off the crossbar and keeps Misfits in this game.
I don't get it, Dragon. I've never seen an infield pass. There's been a lot of infield passes by Evil Geniuses, and I've never seen it defended this well by not chasing down the pass itself. They are just, either intentionally or not, the shots have been allowed, and they just always save it.
I guess you've got to credit the reaction speed of Arju, which was the reason why they scored as well. Arju was so reactive on that pass from Cash. And they seem to be reading the play in that heightened state of focus, which you need at this stage of a tournament. And reading the play well, which could very easily be tilted if you start to lose a few games and start to see the reverse sweep coming. But right now, they are in full focus, full energy mode.
Cash now off the wall, does have Arju in the midfield. It has been the deadly duo so far. Catalyst not going to have any of it this time around, but Taint just allows his teammate to grab the boost before he moves on in.
Self-pass. This is dangerous.
Oh, almost found the reset. He wanted the instant reset flip. Here comes Matane to try and score. Doesn't put too much on it. Team is now back in position, but Ivan looks to escape. And unfortunately, he's not going to escape the oncoming car of Matane.
We just look back on plays like that, and even though Cash didn't break the team down fully, the chaos that comes out of it is exactly what you want to see, and the same thing's going to happen right now as we see the shot come in off the back of Cash, scrambling the defense, and I think we might have a pause here, this is a
Chiefs talk.
And we'll see if Misfits can stick this one out.
Well, we get into this. 1 minute and 41 on the clock as we get this underway. As Arju with a long clear, forced to try and collect that one. It's up to him to now try and give his team a little bit of space. We'll look to see whether or not these teams still have the same strengths that they had earlier on in the series. Tame pops the ball up. Oh, Arju at the stretch does get to it. Ivan was lurking.
Matane trying a solo play here, just gets the flip reset, takes Rizix out of the game, but it gives it back to Catalysm. And at this early stage, after the reset of the game, I really just want to see whether Misfits are as creative on the ball as they were earlier. One of the first things you tend to see from players when they're frustrated is their mechanics tend to not look as clean. And so far, Misfits, they're looking solid. They're making their touches. They are hitting the ball well. And as they settle back in after the pause, will they be able to break down the Evil Geniuses defense?
Now Arju going to try and take this by himself. And instead, now off the backboard, Matane again just gets to it. EG are hitting the ball pretty cleanly at the moment, and it has helped their cause so far as Ivan, the ball just snatched away. Now to the other side of the field, Matane can't get the setup. Instead, Rizix crushes through the challenge, looks to go the whole way by himself. But Cash, I like that, just chose to go for the ball, but also guided his opponent away from the net, made sure that the angle never really was on. 15 seconds left here, we're still tied up, 1 goal apiece.
Yeah, and the question does beg here, if Evil Geniuses take this game, will Misfits start to feel that reverse sweep then? Will they start to feel hard done by something that's out of their control? And this is going to be the most important overtime right here. They need to win it here. And remember, both these teams playing for their tournament life, but not only that, their season life. Can they carry on the rest of the RLCS 21-22 season, or will this be the final game we see them play?
For Evil Geniuses, this was a season that they came in very much hyped. They were considered the main winners of the off-season. Every single tournament they won. There's a lot of the high-level teams from RLCSX did seem to just take a couple of months break, and that really gave them the chance to shine. There's the infield to Rizix. He got it to the side. Defender tried to jump in, and Rizix avoided him.
Oh, Catalysm up the wall to Ivan. Great positioning on the way out from Ivan. And a very simple shot from Rizix there. Definitely more to be able to give. He sends it down to that bottom corner, sneaks it past the final defender, and we've got a game 5. Reverse sweep is looming.
Achieves. Usually I ask you to come in here and sort of give us the lay of the land, but I suppose we're way past that point at the moment. So how's your sort of look at this and what we got in the last few moments of that?
Yeah, getting to watch a bit more closely, I should say, in that last minute or so. I was curious to see, as well as Gregan thought, if Misfits looked good. I thought the start of that was very, very good. A lot of great pressure over on the blue side. Unfortunately, just not enough to crack down the EVG defense. And unfortunately, that last sequence just kind of looked to me, they were just a step behind. Really well. Really good ball movement. There we go. That's what I'm trying to say from Evil Geniuses. Up towards the teammate, back down into the middle very quickly. And it's just a lot to keep track of over on the defensive side. You saw Cash a little late to the sidewall. Matane just trying to cover as much of the net as possible. And it really was just a real well-placed shot from Rizix to go down into that lower hand corner. So great movement from Evil Geniuses. Bounce back. They get the pause review in their favor.
Goodness.
They get the overtime or the game win. And what is it, Shogun? Tell us.
So right now as well, we're not the only regional currently happening. We've got the APAC qualifiers happening as well. The bracket reset game 7. Gladiators have just gone 2-1 up with 29 seconds left against Detonator. That could be would that be the first APAC South team that got sent to one of these majors?
Yeah, we've had 2 APAC North teams representing the APAC region at the majors. So that would be amazing to have completely different teams. Very frequently in these emerging regions, we tend to see consistent top teams who stay at the top for ages. And in APAC, it's been a whole variety. But right now, we are watching.
They've done it.
Evil Geniuses. Look, Shogun. I appreciate other stuff is going on. We are in game 5 right now between Evil Geniuses and Misfits. Season-long rivals looking to send the other one home and potentially out of contention for Worlds. And right now, it looks like it's going to be Evil Geniuses.
But for the sake of it, Gladiators do win, and they do make the major in London.
Thank you very much.
Very nice logo as well. Looking at ourselves into this. Oh my, it's all happening. It's been 2-3 weeks of just back-to-back high-level Rocket League with so many implications, and it's only going to continue, so be sure to stick with us. Only for this weekend, London, World, we're at the tail end of the season. As Ivan's touch sends that the wrong way. He's put his team in a bit of a rough spot here, but Catalysm does spot the danger and get rid of it. Arju keeps that pressure on, at least for now, but this has been the better part of the play from Evil Geniuses. They've got rid of it. They've put themselves in a good spot to now play. And they've got Ivan, who almost wrong-footed the entire team.
Now, this is where you start to look at the play style we speak about between Misfits and Evil Geniuses and which one works better when you're nervous. Executing highly mechanical plays is so much tougher when you're starting to feel the nerves of a Game 5, where Evil Geniuses' simplification of the game will be much more reproducible in these Game 5 moments. We've seen it so far already. A lot of mistouches, misreads from Misfits has led them to take themselves out the game, which is exactly what Evil Geniuses want to see and punish.
Cash chances here. Usually goes for the infield pass. Did have the option available again. Instead wanted to go for that individual play. Didn't work this time. Now Cash once again off the wall. Far too quick, and Catalysm does get to it pretty handily. Has just been back-to-back offense, though, as Matane not going to be able to reach that. His team's out of position. What? I think my first guess is on this one is that Catalysm turned expecting Matane to hit it. And yep.
Yeah, and then Cash expected his teammate Matane to hit that ball. Found himself facing the complete wrong direction to clean up after that mistake. And this is exactly what we're talking about with Misfits. They have a history of underperforming in the final regional, underperforming when they need to clutch up, and they do not want to let that plague the rest of their careers as they're starting to show those signs right now in their gameplay.
It just seems like two teams that have started the season roughly in the same spot, and one has started to figure it out more than the other, because Evil Geniuses were in the same spot. Missed out on the first major of the season, couldn't get the wins that they needed in the very last day, but under pressure here. They are stepping up to it and on the verge of a reverse sweep. Matane will do anything to try and put right that previous wrong. Arju back in, can't get contact. It's getting so much harder here. Evil Geniuses couldn't finish it off with that.
And you wonder how much these guys are thinking about stuff that just doesn't matter right now in this game. Are they worrying about the fact they could have won that last game if it wasn't for the pause? Should they have just closed it out in the last game? All they need to focus on right now is playing their best in this final moment, because it could be their final moments together as Evil Geniuses go up 3 goals. Ivan coming in with a shot.
The game has just got so much harder to read all of a sudden for Misfits. They can't get it right. And that could very well be the end of it. 3-0. Ivan puts his team well in the driver's seat. And it might be about to get so much worse because Matane, Arju, and Cash have got to send the house now. Every play needs to be all in. Every single touch needs to get them closer to a goal. And this is not where they want to see it at the moment. Matane guides the ball only as far as Ivan. Instantly shuts it down. You can see Evil Geniuses have got players locked down in the midfield. Catalysm now takes his turn to move on in. And this is Evil Geniuses defending in the opponent's side of the field. As Cash takes his time. How much more has he got? Arju was coming in from a narrow angle. They tried to recover the play, but Arju had to be coming in from the far side.
Yeah, he just gave no options to Cash. It was way too narrow, and Cash had the right idea there. Draw in a player, send it middle for the point-blank range shot, and Arju just had no wiggle room to send that one towards the net powerfully. And it's these tiny little differences in decision-making, tiny differences in communication that are letting Misfits down, as we just see the speed of Evil Geniuses keeping up with Misfits. And they're not finding any gaps in the defense. Ivan going to take control of this ball, not worried about the challenging players. It's just going to go to a teammate, and that's going to allow him to get the counter-attack. Cash sends it away, but it might just be too much to ask. Coming back 3 goals here for Misfits.
As you mentioned on the previous play, Greg, is that Cash had the right idea by slowing it down. They don't have that luxury anymore. This is all in offense for the rest of this 25 seconds. Everything on the line here. As Evil Geniuses recollect the ball, Arju avoids getting hit, but he's still under pressure from Rizek. Ivan will get rid of it. And that should be enough for Evil Geniuses. They did it in the most difficult way they possibly could have, but the reverse sweep is secured. They move on. Misfits are out.
Oh my. We did not expect to see a reverse sweep happen this convincingly by Evil Geniuses. They changed so much from those first two games, not only to start bouncing back, but to look like the better team on the field, which just didn't seem possible the way Misfits was starting off this series. So we got to credit Evil Geniuses. When the pressure was on, they stepped up. And unfortunately for Misfits, they continue the storyline of the third regional dropout.
Listen, I'm only going to point out here as well that Jorby was one of the first ones to leave the lobby. So that could be an interesting green room for us tomorrow. Hi, Chiefs. Enjoy yourself this round.
Oh, I knew Jordan was going to be crying somewhere along the lines. A tough go out for Misfits, but at the same time, a fun little milestone. That is our 100th reverse sweep of the season. So well done to you and your crew over there at Evil Geniuses. Big win over Misfits. You keep going, and what a wild ride it was. Gregan continues to show us why he got 2 genius hats at the start, because he said they'd collapse. It absolutely did. Shogun and I are in awe of his majesty.
Greg predicted his bets here. He was going to be right no matter what. He even got it right because he predicted
the games. He's learned from the best.
I'm not having this.
Yeah, that's in the school of Gibbs analysis right there. He taught me that one.
Well, you guys, we could figure all that and who deserves what over on the break, because when we come back, we'll have our final featured match of the day, our second elimination round as well. When we return, it'll be Carmen Corp versus Vitality here on the main stream. We'll see you in just a few.